Hey guys, welcome back to my channel if you're new here. My name is Allie, and today video it's one of those times where I'm like, should I even be posting this? It is my 26 in 2026. I have done this the past 2-3 years, and you know, I don't think I have accomplished a single one of these. So why I'm still doing it, I'm not really sure. I think it's just fun, and although I love my backlist, I love going back and reading books that I've missed, and this year has also been like my reread year. I also love keeping up with what's current, and horror is just killing it. So like, I want to keep reading, you know, the new stuff. So the way that I do it is obviously 26 books for 2026, but I do all new books. But I try to keep it to books that I know I'm going to want to read. And I say that, I think it's because I failed horribly the first like 2 years I did this. And even last year I was like, besides a couple, we're sticking to horror. And even then, you guys, there was some questionable picks on there that I look back on. I'm like, why did I do that? Because yeah, I wasn't gonna get to that in time. So I tried to be even more picky, but I'm not gonna lie, I have to fill 26 spots. So it's a lot, bear with me. Some of these do not have covers yet, and that is kind of why I'm posting this video still, because although some of these are already out and have already published, some of them, most of them, are still not out yet. I'm sure there's gonna be more by the time you guys see this video, but I am going to be going through the list. We're gonna try to do brief synopses because we'll be here forever. And I will talk about like publishing dates and stuff. This is in no particular order of like what I'm most excited about, no particular order of what's published first, what's already out, I just threw a list down. So we're just gonna go through it. So I'm gonna scoot over so we can start throwing books up for you guys because I don't have physical copies. I'm hoping to have physical copies of all of these if they all end up being amazing books, but I am going to try to utilize my library as well. But I'm not gonna lie, looking at the covers of a lot of these, I want them so bad. Anyways, grab your snacks. I have my Alani to help power through the next probably hour that I'm gonna lose my voice talking about these books. I do apologize, I am going to be a phone girl and be reading synopses from Goodreads. First up, we have my girl, Catriona Ward, who oh my God, I'm so sorry. If it is Catriona, I am so sorry that I've been calling you Katrina Ward for the past year. I even have a video, 3 books reading Catriona Ward, and I called her Katrina through all of it. But I hear it both ways. If you know, please let me know in the comments, but I am starting with this one, Nowhere Burning, because funny enough, this was supposed to publish last year. I don't really know all the details or why it didn't, but it's funny because this was originally on my 25 in 2025 because it was supposed to publish last year. And then when I went to look at it again, I had seen that it got pushed to 2026 and I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta put a different one. So I had to put We Love You Bunny instead for last year. And that could happen with some of these today, now that I know that like that could happen. So this is just the plan. I'm sure that there's also going to be more books announced that have not been announced yet that I'd be like, oh my gosh, I wish I put that on my 26 and 2026. But anyways, back to Nowhere Burning. This did publish in February, February 24th to be exact. A place for lost children may also be their prison. High in the mountains sits Nowhere, a verdant valley surrounded by walls of rock. People have lived at Nowhere for centuries, though never for long and rarely happily. Its last owner was its most famous movie star, Leif Winham, who built Nowhere House as his refuge to hide from his fame and to hide his crimes. That's all I'm gonna read. I'm so excited. I'm definitely somebody who does not like to be spoiled completely, so I may not read all synopses, but I feel like that is a good like intro into the book and kind of what to expect. It's also Catriona Ward, like it's gonna be weird, it's gonna be unhinged, and it's probably gonna be super, super confusing and then all magically come together at the end, which is why I love her work so much. Next, I have Monsters in the Archives, My Year of Fear with Stephen King. This is by Caroline Bix. It is going to be published April 26th. I'm sorry, April 21st. I seen the 26th because 2026. Anyways. This is obviously a nonfiction. It's a fascinating first of its kind exploration of Stephen King and his most iconic early books, based on groundbreaking research and interviews with King, all conducted by the first scholar to be given extended access to his private archives. I am stoked for this. I recently bought his Stephen King Goes to the Movies, another nonfiction that I'm so excited to dive into, but then this was announced and I'm like, not only was this my year of rereads, but I'm also trying to dabble more and find my niche in nonfiction, and the books have just been hitting one after another. I'm so excited for this one, and it just sounds amazing. Next up, we have my highly anticipated second novel from Kylie Lee Baker. This is Japanese Gothic. It is publishing April 14th. This lyrical, wildly inventive horror novel interwoven with Japanese mythology, two people living centuries apart discover a door between their worlds. Say less. It sounds like so much fun, and I've already seen some of the like art for it, and like it looks like we're going to have like some Japanese like folklore with and just not just that, but like culture with like the samurai swords and like that type of vibe. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for it. And not to mention, I absolutely loved Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zing, so I am so excited. She's also going to be like an hour and a half-ish away from me on her book tour, and I want to go so bad. I want to go meet her. Another highly anticipated one because of the previous book, The Eyes Are the Best Part, that I read. We have Monica Kim's new one, Molka. It is also publishing in April 30th. Molka, the Korean term for spy cameras secretly and illegally installed often to capture voyeuristic images and videos. Dae can't believe her luck when she finds herself in a whirlwind romance with handsome, charismatic Hyuk-jun, the heir to the multi-million-dollar fortune. But then a shocking revelation threatens. The couple has been caught on a spy cam amid Korea's growing Molka epidemic. And the video is all over the internet. I'm excited, and I can't get over how stunning the cover is. It's just so cool and different. Honestly, ditto to what I just said about the last two with this next one, because Mark Kluwer has a new book called The Caretaker that's also publishing in April 21st. And I am so excited for this one as well. And another stunning cover. Like, oh my gosh, I just want all of the covers. Follow the Rights. Nothing less than the survival of humanity is at stake. It's a supernatural horror about a young woman who accepts a caretaking job from Craigslist only to discover the position has consequences far greater and more dangerous than she ever could have imagined. Exciting opportunity. Caretaker urgently needed. 3 days of work, competitive pay, serious applicants only. And with his last book, you know it's gonna be weird. And my girl, CJ Lead, has a new book coming out on June 9th called Headlights. Another stunning cover. Every instinct tells him to run. Every memory tells him he can't. Special Agent Daniel Stansfield is ready for a change. Burnt out and defeated by his job, it's his last day with the FBI, but before he can turn in his badge, he's summoned back to Denver, the city he ran from 4 years ago, with a chilling message. It's happening again. I don't even want to know what's happening. I want to wait and find out, but that is appealing enough to me. We got a new one from Paul Tremblay coming as well, and it is an odd cover and an odd title. Expected June 30th, Dead but Dreaming of Electric Sheep. And I'm here for it. Philip K. Dick meets the Coen brothers and this genre-bending near-future tech nightmare that is as bitingly funny as it is horrifically believable. Meet Julia Flang, a 20-something former semi-professional gamer living with her retired uncle and working 2 jobs she doesn't like. Out of the blue, her estranged mother, a CFO for one of the world's largest tech companies, offers her a temp job with a payday Julia can't refuse. One sham interview later, she's offered to chaperone a man in a vegetative state, one with proprietary AI implanted in his head. Oh my Lord. To sum up in Julia's own, quote, "You want me to remote control this dead dude across the country." She has to take him from California to East Coast. The summer's gonna be good because we also have a new horror from Chuck Tingle. I'm so excited. This comes out July 7th. It is called Fabulous Bodies. A supernatural joyride where Drive meets Beetlejuice. Are you kidding me? I've been making movie earrings today. I'm literally about to make my pair of Beetlejuice earrings. I'm Beetlejuice fanatic. Fashion influencer by day, grave robber by night, Poppy Stringer is on call when Eddie Michaels, a flamboyant, piano-slamming rock star and queer icon, unexpectedly dies. All Poppy has to do is retrieve Eddie's body from the medical examiner's office, but what starts as a routine delivery quickly goes off course when Eddie wakes up. I am so excited. If you couldn't tell. We're seeing so much romance in the horror genre, and I am here for it. I am eating it up. And we have one this year. We actually have a couple of books, like 2 or 3 from Clay McLeod Chapman this year, which is exciting. But this one's on the list because it's romance meets horror. It's called Devil Inside, and it's coming out August 11th. A man who's back from the dead meets a woman who's from somewhere even worse. Horror-mance about love, possession, and just a little murder. After a traumatic accident that almost cost Jordan his life, he's finally starting to feel normal again. Well, maybe not normal. Everything tastes like ash, and when he looks at the people around him, their faces start to melt. At least he's not dead, right? His friends are doing their best to get him back on his feet. Maybe find someone to talk to. Perhaps even find someone to take his mind off his last failed relationship. Then he meets Lilith. The two share an instant connection, but after a wild and passionate night together, she ghosts him. He searches the city for Lilith, desperate to see her again, but when a woman claiming to be Lilith shows up wearing a different face, but knowing intimate details about Jordan, he worries he's losing his grip on reality. As he grows closer to the mysterious woman, he discovers that happily ever after sometimes comes at a cost. I have to know what's going on there. At this point, I think everybody, like my friends, everybody, they are tired of me talking about this. I have 2 ends of a trilogy coming this year that I can't shut up about, and I cannot wait for them. The first one is Leigh Bardugo. September 15th, we are getting the conclusion, the 3rd book in this series of Alex Stern. We had Ninth House. We had Hellbent. Amazing, 5 stars. Now we get Deadbeat. I'm hoping there won't be spoilers in this, but this is definitely a 3rd book in a series, you know? It says, hell is empty and all the devils are here. Alex Stern made it to hell and back more than once, but this time she left the door open behind her. Demons are creeping through the streets of New Haven and the Yale campus, feeding on the souls of the living, terrifying, and dead. I can't wait. I'm going to be rereading the other ones this year, and I'm trying to wait till closer, but oh my God, I'm gonna eat it up. The other end of a trilogy that I am highly anticipating is Victorious from V.E. Schwab. It's expected October 6th, and this is the end of the villains. There's some like in between ones, I think. Well, there's Warm Up, and then there's Vicious, and then she also did like a 1.5, like I think it's like a graphic novel. I haven't read that. Extraordinary. I think it's just kind of like about like what they are. Vengeful is the 2nd book, and then we have Victorious coming this year, and it's V. Schwab. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Another like mild I don't know if it's gonna be a spoiler or not, but it just says, Eli Ever, Victor Vale. Oh, my two faves. Two men, first best friends, then mortal enemies, each destined to be the other's shadow. One left standing, but the game isn't over yet against all the years and the odds. A group of allies and arch rivals meet on a chessboard set by an opponent they couldn't have predicted to see who will be victorious. I'm gonna bawl my eyes out. I already know. So I have to, you know, brag for a second here because I already knew about this next one before like anything was announced because I went to the Play Nice tour last year with Rachel Harrison and she talked about it. She didn't give us obviously the cover or the title, but she told us it's about a wedding and it's about a time loop. Oh my gosh, I've been stoked ever since she said that. But now we have not only the title, Kiss Slay Replay, the cover, which is absolutely stunning, and the date, September 8th. I will definitely try to get to that tour as well and see her again. Every wedding guest's worst nightmare is on repeat in this wild and twisty new horror novel. It's the picture-perfect wedding, the venue is dreamy, the weather is beautiful, love is in the air, and Willa Sullivan is having a bad time. She's excited to celebrate her best friends finally having the big wedding they've always wanted, but this is the first time she's ever seen her ex-fiancé in months, and he brought a date. Everything feels off, like she stumbled into an alternate universe, but things start to look up when Willa meets Danny, the groom's charming and single childhood best friend. When they sneak off together, is interrupted by a mass killer terrorizing the reception. Willa and Danny fight to save the ones they love and survive the night, but the killer is unrelenting. A final girl Willa is not, or is she? She wakes up and it's the morning of the wedding. She just had the most intense nightmare of her life. Only as the day unfolds, there are some uncanny coincidences that make her question whether it was really a dream, deja vu, or something more sinister. After a horrifying turn of events, Willa comes to understand that she's stuck in a loop of carnage and terror that she must learn how to escape or else suffer a fate worse than death, being an eternal wedding guest. Oh, I would die. I hate weddings. Next, I have Pictures of You by Josh Malerman. This is expected September 8th. A woman becomes the subject of an artist's mysterious experiment in this intense and dreamlike supernatural thriller. Ooh, I don't know about that. She's madly in love with her new boyfriend. Oh, Emily's picture of her life is about to change. She's madly in love with her new boyfriend, Jack, and they are about to embark on a life together, but then everything she wakes up... Is it just me, or is the synopsis on Goodreads of this, like, not correct? She wakes up from an ecstatic night out with Jack to find herself in a strange hotel room with Jack nowhere to be found. When she tries to leave the room, she discovers it's inside a picture frame, and on the other side of the frame is a strange woman who says that she is an artist and that Emily is her work of art, her masterpiece. Now Emily must find Jack and escape with the painting and the artist's diabolical vision. Or from the painting and the artist's diabolical vision. Before she was trapped in the nightmarish experiment, Emily's life was about to begin. But is she now doomed to her life becoming someone else's creation? That is so intriguing, and also it's Josh Malerman, like, say less. I feel like I probably should have said this at the beginning of the video, but like, my reaction to reading these are all real because 9 times out of 10, like, if I read you guys a synopsis in a video, that's the first time I'm usually like reading the synopsis myself because I never want to be spoiled. A lot of these are repeat authors. So I've seen the title, I've seen like a one-line sentence or like the name of the book, and I'm like, I want to read it, you know? There is someone here from authors that are new to me. I've never read from them, and I've probably seen the synopsis before, but I also, unless I've read the book, and even sometimes then, it just kind of falls out of my head. So this is pure excitement. And some of them like didn't have synopses whenever I was first like looking at them on Goodreads. We have a new one from Delilah S. Dawson, and isn't she an author like that uses another name as well? I could be wrong, but I want to say, oh yeah, as Lila Bowen. Anyways, we have a new one, Monstera. It is gonna be published October 13th. A reclusive young woman moves into what seems like the perfect apartment and is obsessively drawn to her reclusive neighbor who keeps a lush garden and is hiding a deadly secret. Eat the Ones You Love, which I still need to get to that book, meets wilder girls in this sensual, sapphic, love that, botanical horror novella. I'm excited. I actually didn't know anything about this book. I seen the cover and I was like sold. I actually have it sitting next to me because I'm actually reading it this week. So I can hold it up for you guys. She Made Herself a Monster by Anna Kovacheva. I am not 100% sure. I need to figure that out. But this published February 10th. A heady, dark-hued gothic gem, and it's a debut novel. In 19th century Bulgaria, a self-proclaimed vampire slayer, actually a traveling con artist, joins forces with a teenage girl to create a monster deadly enough to vanquish their own demons. We make monsters in order to destroy them. For thousands of years, we've named witches and burned them, suspected demons and exorcised them. When crops die and children fall ill, who better to blame than a monster? In 19th century Bulgaria, Yana rides from one desolate town to the next, staging grisly displays while the villagers sleep, animal corpses in the public square, eggs filled with blood in the chicken coop. She tells the stricken villagers stories of vampires that stalk the night. Then Yana eliminates the threat and leaves seeds of hope in her wake. The village of Koprivici, or Vichy, I'm not sure, however, is plagued by exceptional illness and misfortune, and its children rarely surviving infancy. There, Yana meets Anka, a headstrong orphan who the villagers blame for their curse. As Anka approaches womanhood, the village captain is grooming her for marriage against her will. She is powerless against him, that is, until Yana arrives. Together, the orphan and the vampire slayer hatch a plan to conjure a monster so vile it might provide cover for Anka to escape. But their plan quickly takes on a horrifying life of its own. Inspired by Slavic folklore, She Made Herself a Monster concocts a clever mix of witchery, ghost stories, heresy, and deception to spin a feminist fable about agency and the power of collective action. It is a haunting and astounding cathartic tale of two women who will stop at nothing to take control of their fate. It sounds incredible, and I am excited to keep reading. I'm so so in the beginning that I don't even have anything to say, but I wouldn't even if I did, because this is not the video. It's in a different video. Another new to me author, Avery Curran, has Spoiled Milk. This published March 10th. In 1928, Emily Locke's final year at the isolated Brierley School for Girls is derailed when Violet, the school's brightest star and a cunning beauty for whom Emily would do anything, falls to her death on her 18th birthday. Emily and her buttoned-up rival Evelyn are for once in agreement. Violet's death was no accident. There is an obvious culprit, the French schoolmistress with whom Violet was getting a little too close. They just need to prove it. Desperate for answers, Emily and her classmates turn to spiritualism, hoping for a glimpse of wisdom from the great beyond. To their shock, Violet's spirit appears, choosing pious Evelyn as her unlikely medium. And Violet has a warning for them. The danger has just begun. Something deadly is infecting Brierley. It starts with rotten food and curdled milk, but quickly grows more threatening. As the body count rises and students race to save themselves, Emily must confront the fatal forces poisoning the school. I'm excited for that one, and I definitely already have it on a TBR of mine. I'm always down for a witchy story, and we have a new one. We call them Witches by India Rose Bauer. This publishes April 7th. Most people have been devoured by the eldritch creatures, but Sarah and her family have been fighting for survival, armed with their knowledge of folklore and pagan rituals, the only weapon that seems to work against these monsters. And then a young woman, Parsley, comes out of nowhere into Sarah's life, found in their garden. They have no idea where she is from. Sarah and Parsley begin to fall in love, but disaster strikes when Sarah's brother Noah is taken by the creatures. They set out to find him across the landscape of merciless terror haunted by death. But can Parsley truly be trusted in a world where humanity is as scarce as humans themselves? I'm a little iffy about this one. I feel like the synopsis isn't like super as intriguing, but the cover I think is really cool. And again, witch stories just always get me. And so this one could be a banger. Femme Feral by Sam Bessinger is expected May 12th. This is about a hyper-competent tech leader who thinks she's going through perimenopause, discovers she's actually turning into a werewolf in this feminist dark comedy debut. The head of a company she started from the ground up, the worried mother of a troubling, secretive daughter, and the wife of an easygoing man who's always has her picking up the slack. Ellie is already juggling too much. I am so excited. I'm pretty sure this is her adult debut, so I am super excited, and it just seems like a fun time. Joanna Van Veen has really been bringing the horror, and I am excited for this new one, Bone of My Bone. The cover is stunning, and it looks like we have a little bit of religious horror going on here, which is exciting. This publishes May 26th. Actually is the 26th. For fans of The Witch, Say Less and The Salt Grows Heavy, which I liked. Skull's Grin is eternal. The year is 1635. Sister Ursula, a young nun fleeing the ruins of her convent, and Isabeth, a sharp-witted peasant, escapes a band of marauding soldiers and disappears into the Bavarian forest. War scorches the land and no one survives it alone. Amid the devastation, they find something in the arms of a dying, the gilded skull of a saint. It is said that if you reunite the saint's skull with her body, a wish will be granted. Desperate for salvation and each with secret desires of their own, Ursula and Elsabeth follow a ragged path across the blighted countryside, but darkness follows them. A necromancer, drawn by the relic's power, the saint herself whispering at night. And as the lines between blessing and curse blur, the women must face a harrowing. The magic they seek comes at a cost. At the journey's end, they'll face an impossible choice, one that could tear apart everything they know or bind them to each other forever. Sounds amazing. Not gonna lie, this next one wasn't really gonna be on my radar, but I gotta read it. It's Tenerife. She has a new one called Maisie Wood coming out in September, the 22nd. All the Sinners Bleed meets My Sister the Serial Killer. That's exciting because I love that one. And this literary thriller following the grandson of a famous Black actress from the 1940s and 1950s, now a filmmaker himself, who returns to his grandmother's cabin retreat in the California mountains only to encounter the legacy of her rage. With flashbacks to Johnny's grandmother, this novel explores 3 generations, beginning with Mizelle Washington's life as a young actress. 50 years after Mizelle's death, Johnny will discover the secret she's kept and nurtured since she was a child when she had a dark wish come true. There's a monster in the woods outside her mountain retreat, Maisie Wood, and it is lonely and angry. Honestly, I just thought Maisie Wood, and I was like, it's gonna all be about like Hollywood and actors, and that's just not always my thing. But after this synopsis and the fact that it's, again, Tenerife, I gotta read it. Since I was blown away by Coffin Moon by Keith Rawson, I'm very, very interested in Crone from him coming out this year, September 22nd as well. It is a haunting, fearsome story of a father searching for his missing daughter and finding darkness, both human and not. At every turn, Eli Lamp is a broken man, an ex-detective, ex-addict, and long-grieving father whose daughter Hannah disappeared a decade before. Eli decimated his old life investigating her abduction and is now indebted to the Crooked Will, a local drug gang, as an enforcer. He lives in a rundown trailer at the edge of the woods where he keeps Hannah's room in pristine condition and tries to make it through one day at a time. But when the son of the Crooked Will's boss is found viciously murdered in a crime scene that doesn't seem to add up, Eli receives a new order. Find out who the killer is and your debt to the will is clear forever. You're free. Yeah, it sounds like it's gonna be an adventure and a wild ride like Coffin Moon. I have read plenty of short stories by Lindy Ryan, but I haven't read a novel from her yet. So I will be picking up Dollface this year. This published February 24th. Barbie meets Scream. I'm literally wearing my one of my Ghostface shirts, and I have my Scream earrings on. So fun. Her author Jill has just moved to suburban New Jersey, hoping to fit in with the new PTA moms and maybe not weird everyone out with her final girl coffee mug. You know, make some real friends. But then a plastic face mask serial killer begins slashing their way through town, one overly made up mom at a time. The police are incredulous. The moms are indignant. And Jill is slowly wrapped into a killer's murderous spree until she might just be the last woman standing. Oh my god, it sounds like such a good time. I can't wait. Another stunning cover, Ellie Graves' Man-Eater. It publishes March 26. The Devil Wears Prada meets The Eyes Are the Best Part in the sharply visceral femme gore thriller. Things for Renee Landis are finally looking up. She just quit her dead-end job at a chicken shop after landing the coveted role of junior chef at London's pristine Nova restaurant. But it's not the restaurant that draws Renee in, it's the executive chef. Grace Fitzgerald is a legendary as she is secretive, known for her succulent signature dishes and the notorious methods in which she runs her kitchen. No one can touch her workspace with bare hands, no other chef can taste her signature dishes, and no one under any circumstances is allowed to enter her personal freezer. Ooh, it's gonna be so good. Female rage and cannibalism. It looks like another, what is it called? Plant horror with this one. This is Morsel by Carter Keene. It's kind of like a novella. It publishes April 14th. The Blair Witch Project meets The Ritual. I am loving these. Like the comparison to some of my favorite horror movies. Oh, with a generous helping of The Menu and Morsel, a delicious folk horror novella perfect for fans of T. Kingfisher, Cassandra Naw, and Paul Tremblay. Say less. Lou did what the children of parents with back-breaking, poor-paying jobs are supposed to do. Pulled up her bootstraps, went to college, and got an office job with coworkers who won't stop talking about their multi-level marketing schemes disguised as self-betterment. Determined to lift her ill mother out of poverty before it's too late, and in the spirit of climbing the corporate ladder, Lou accepts an assignment in the rural hills of Ohio. She quickly finds herself stranded in the middle of nowhere with the sabotage struck, a dog she's determined to keep safe, and something stalking her through the ancient Appalachian woods. Oh my god. If she can't escape the woods in time, she'll come face to face with the fact that her job isn't the only thing that wants to eat her alive. This next one I'm really intrigued about. I've read a thriller from her and I really liked it. I honestly forgot which one it was. It's Geneva Rose. But she said that she's always wanted to write horror. And so she came out with this small collection. Well, it comes out in September 22nd. But it's called Sometimes I Scare Myself. And I'm just so intrigued to see what she does with this. She said that she's always loved horror. She wants to write horror. And so she wrote like, I want to say, if I remember correctly, which maybe the synopsis says, it's a collection of 4 horror stories. Not all nightmares come from sleep. Oh, 3 horror stories. A dinner party, a quiet house, a roadside stop. You'll recognize the setup. You won't recognize what comes next. That's enough for me. I'm excited. And I love that the cover is like, oh, what is it called? The things on the Ouija boards. I don't know, the word the word fell out of my head. last but definitely not least, I needed to fill this last space and I didn't know what I wanted to do with it, but ultimately this one is just so intriguing to me that I had to put it on the list. I will read anything V.E. Schwab writes. I'm just gonna say it. I don't care what genre it is, I'm gonna read it. So she collabed with her friend Kat Clark to form a author together that they named Evelyn Clark. She flipped the EV in Evelyn, and then Clark is after Kat's name. But it is a thriller book. It is called The Ending Writes Itself. It publishes April 7th, and it just seems like it's gonna be such a fun time, and I really wanna read it. It is a high-stakes satirical locked room thriller. 6 struggling authors are invited to a remote Scottish island to finish a legendary novelist's final manuscript for a massive deal. The competition turns fatal when the writers start dying. I'm really excited, and from the sound of it, they really went there with like the character creation and everything, that it just sounds like it's going to be such a good time. And I'm excited to see V.E. Schwab like step out of their like comfort zone a little bit with writing more so horror to fantasy, stuff like that, to just a pure thriller mystery novel, and with a friend at that. And I've never read from Kat Clark. I don't even know if she has a lot of novels, but I don't know, I'm excited about it. So that is the plan. That is 26 new novels, mainly horror with a sprinkle of a little extra, that is coming out this year, that have caught my attention with the cover, with the title, the author, and now the synopses. I am so excited. It seems like it's going to be such a fun reading year. And I know this video is late, but I would love to know from you guys. If you guys do any type of list like this, please let me know in the comments, or maybe some of these have made your list too. Or if anything, what's the most highly anticipated books that you're going to be reading this year that you can't wait to still get to? Anyways, thank you so much for chilling with me today in this rambling sesh. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one.